Hi world, this is the 23rd Climate Change Rally in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, USA. It is May 31st, 2019. So welcome to the Facebook Live video. Presently the CO2 level remains high at 414.6, 415. 350 is the upper limit of survivability, but actually 300 parts per million is the safe zone for the CO2 level. Presently, you got droughts in Alberta, Canada, and you got wildfires there. People are being evacuated from the various towns. You have a Midwest situation with the farmers down the Mississippi River area, and just the farms in general in the Midwest, where it's just absolute flooding. And I don't know if anyone's aware of that in the USA, but it's directly linked to climate change. The South just went through a heat wave of crossing 100 degrees. Europe has had dramatically wild fluctuations in their weather. So all in all, what it's coming down to is a food insecurity issue. And right now it hasn't hit the supermarkets, but eventually what will happen is that the USA will take care of their own people for the most part, and the world will suffer, and that we won't be able to export grains. There are very the amount of production and planting in the Midwest is down by at least half. So, and then you got Canada, which is another breadbasket. So you got a real situation developing that people won't be able to eat, and that could lead to unrest such as government overthrows and things like that. It is well within our government's reasoning and best interest to start taking action on climate change. Right now in the United States, you got things happening already, and yet the government is thwarting and it's not denying climate change. It even exists, and they're putting gag orders on the scientists and those in various departments that are in charge of taking action. So it's only going to go one way. You can bury your head in the sand, but it doesn't change the fact of things happening around. So it's going to fool some of the people for a little bit, but you got the Midwest already suffering. And the news media is extremely culpable in the United States in that they're not linking all these weather events such as the various tornadoes. We had over 500 tornadoes in 30 days in the United States. So it looks like a war zone in the Midwest. So the media is not reporting these things as linkage to climate change. And it's really a crime against humanity as far as the media goes and as far as our government goes. It's pure evil and sinister. What's going on. The media is owned by 6 families basically here in the United States, and they're really ultra so-called conservative. I choose to call them radical, and so it's just not a good situation, and we're going to suffer. And eventually what will happen is once a food chaos starts developing around the world, it's going to spill over into governments, and they better either have their bullets ready, which I'm sure they're ready to use, but the easy answer is to actually take action. So, there's too much profit in bullets and too much profit in making people suffer. So you don't want to bring everyone up to the same level, because where's the profit in that, right? So it's a frustrating situation. So in Central America and South America, you're having northern South America and Central America, you're also having extreme droughts. And what's happening is that the people are pouring out of those countries, as anyone would, to save their families. They're going somewhere else, and a lot of them are coming to the U.S. border. Our policy, again, is to shut down the border and return them back to Mexico and then start a trade war with them. And that is not the solution. The solution is to take care of the issue at hand and what's causing it. And it's our addiction to oil and natural gas and coal that's causing this. And it's greed, out and out greed. People just want to make profit and make money. And you can't eat money on a dead planet. So eventually it's going to affect everyone, including the very rich and the ultra right-wing conservatives, so-called conservatives, radicals. And, a lot of the, I'll get to that part in a minute. Right now, with the CO2 level being where it is, the oceans in the past, 2.5 million years ago, were 60 feet higher, and the air was 3 degrees warmer Celsius. Right now, the air is 0.8 degrees Celsius from 1880, and the oceans have risen a minimal amount. So 60 feet higher with the oceans, you can count on that coming. And then you can also count a dramatic increase in temperatures once the Arctic sea ice goes. So again, you're going to have more food insecurity and civil unrest. And see a pattern here? By voting in people that continue to deny the issue at hand. When you look out the door and you see all these happenings, locally or worldwide. So, Gettysburg, it was 90 degrees this week. So, that's not normal for May. That's an August temperature. Anyhow, so what's happening locally here in Gettysburg, at least, and I suspect in the whole United States, is that college kids aren't turning out. They're off on their summer break, and they're not protesting, and it's in their best interest, because with a 10-year delay between CO2 levels and temperature catching up, there's going to be a huge issue within the next 10 years, 7 years, 5 years, or less, as we're seeing right now. So it's going to be a question of survival the way we're going. We're just accelerating and accelerating and accelerating as far as CO2 production. And it's not a good situation. So the college kids should be out. I feel bad for the younger crowd, such as the high school kids, junior high kids around the world, that they're turning out and protesting. But, some adults are catching on around here, but not really. Everyone in the area locally are afraid to speak up because they're afraid of what their neighbors or friends will say. And it's a shame because they have kids, they have families, and it's going to directly affect them as well. So you got both parties that are culpable, Democrats and Republicans. Probably there needs to be a third party, such as a Green Party, that erupts around here and takes over and controls the issue. But that's not going to happen because everything is geared towards a two-party thing, and they're dug in and they're at odds with each other rather than working together. So the next week's rally is June 7th, 11 o'clock, and I hope someone turns out, but I doubt it as usual. And, it's not about me, it's about climate change, and everyone can sit in their little houses and stay nice and comfy in their air conditioner until the electric goes down because of overuse. I wish people would start being proactive and at least locally comment on things, but it's a systemic issue around here, and no one's doing anything as far as I can tell. This needs to be more than just a local thing, such as, taking care of women's issues or this issue or that issue. You got to lean into it. You got to make yourself uncomfortable. And if you're scared, everybody's scared to do something. But you need to start doing something. You need to lean into it. And then if that doesn't work, lean in again. Keep trying. So thank God for Europe. Thank God for Africa. Thank God for Asia. Thank God for Australia. And Canada. Some of the Canadians are doing well. So hope to see you next week, June 7th, 11 a.m. Gettysburg, PA, USA. Bye.